Today we are doing a head-to-head matchup of Ideogram versus Midjourney on my brand new game that I developed specifically for these AI matchups. We're going to be taking outputs and generations from each of these models and comparing them directly in 4 separate rounds. We are going to be looking at realism, how well do each of the models handle realistic inputs, realistic prompting. We are going to be looking at style of prompts, how well each of the models handle in the style of, like in the style of Leonardo da Vinci or in the style of Salvador Dali. And we'll also be looking at prompt adherence. How well do the models adhere to the prompt given to them? How well do the outputs follow the prompt given? And then the final round is text coherence. How well do the models handle text in their images? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So it's going to be Midjourney versus Ideogram.
In the blue corner, we have Midjourney. And in the red corner, we have Ideogram.
Round 1. Fight!
All right, round one is underway. Let's take a look at the prompt. A hyper-realistic portrait of an elderly man with wrinkles and weathered skin. So this is Midjourney's, and this is Ideogram's. Looking at them side by side, they're both pretty good, but they're handling the hyper-realistic input a little differently, I'd say. Let's take a closer look at Midjourney. I would say when we're talking about hyper realism, I think Midjourney did follow that style much better. So hyper realism isn't about actually looking realistic. That's why it's called hyper realism. So it's about exaggerating the different features within an image to almost actually make it look not real. Like it can be an actual real photo or a real image, but you're using a lot of different filters and settings in order for it to actually look very similar to what this is. Hyper realistic, like so real, so detailed that it's almost like, is that even real? So I think Midjourney handles this well. It is a little too cartoonish, and it does look a little bit too much like a drawing for me, but it is, I think, the best out of the two, because if we take a look at Ideogram does a good job at hyper realism if we're speaking about like a 3D model. But that's not what we're discussing, and that's not what hyper realism is. Hyper realism isn't about 3D modeling. It is literally what Midjourney did. So for this prompt, I'm gonna have to give it to Midjourney. All right, the next prompt is a detailed photorealistic image of dewdrop on a leaf. Photorealistic. So these are the two models. Let's take a look at Midjourney first. So I like this one a lot. A dewdrop on a leaf, photorealism. I really like the bokeh effect, and it looks really good. I can't complain. It does look a little too, once again, cartoonish, drawing-like. It doesn't really look photorealistic, but it's close. It's definitely close. Now let's take a look at Ideogram. So Ideogram definitely looks good, but there are so many issues here with the render itself, with the generation itself. Like if you look at all of the dewdrops, there's so many that are just like weird and misshapen. If you look even over here, right, you look at this blade of grass, Those dewdrops look a little kind of weird. This one right here, these, um, it's not that great. To me, this doesn't really scream photorealism, and it's not a dewdrop on a leaf. Like, looking at Midjourney, there is obviously it understood that, and it did get a dewdrop on a leaf. So for that alone, and other things that I've mentioned, I'm going to give this one to Midjourney as well. The next prompt is a close-up photograph of a human eye with visible iris details. All right. Yeah, so these are both beautiful. However, this is a realism. And if we look at that prompt again, close-up photograph, a close-up photograph. So this isn't micro, this isn't a micro shot, this is just a close-up photograph of an eye, with the iris visible. And for this, I'm gonna have to give this to Ideogram. I mean, take a look at that. Look at the follicles. Look at the eyebrow. Look at the kind of dried skin. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal. And Midjourney's great, but this is more of a micro shot. And even then, a lot of this doesn't really look realistic at all. It definitely looks like there could be some realism going on here, but it looks, I mean, so just over the top, that I just can't give it to this. So for this one, I'm gonna have to give this to Ideogram. The next prompt is a still life photograph of a glass of water with ice cubes and lemon slices. So we'll just pop both of those right up here. Take a look. Both of these are amazing. Let's go ahead and start with Midjourney. Midjourney's great. Looks like something you would get designed for a commercial. There are some issues like this. The glass looks like it's, I don't know, kind of getting cut in half. It doesn't really look like the lemon's just sliding on top of that. The water is pretty good. Ice cubes look pretty good. Lemons look pretty good. However, I mean, it is still life photograph, but when I think of still life, I don't think so much of like melting ice. I mean, if you look at still life, and I know I'm nitpicky here, like melted ice, but if you look at like still life art, for example, it's very simple. It's very simplistic. It's kind of trying to get, I don't know, I want to say nostalgic, but it's trying to evoke some type of stillness and basicness and the essentials of the image, whereas this seems much more like marketing material, which is cool. It's cool, but I just don't feel like it's super still life to me. It seems like that would be a still frame from maybe some commercial, whereas if you look over here at Ideogram, to me this screams still life. Yeah, there's also an issue with this lemon kind of sitting on top of that. There's like obviously some weird AI stuff going on here, but other than that, I mean, Midjourney had that too. Other than that, this to me is just feels more like what the prompt says for the specific realistic prompt, still life photograph, right? So for this one as well, I'm going to have to give this to Ideogram. The next prompt is a highly detailed, realistic image of a leather bag with visible texture and stitching. All right, let's take a look at both of them side by side. And we will open up Midjourney. Right away, I'm sure you can see what I'm probably going to point out here. If you look at these stitches, this just looks like super drawn, almost like a painting. What is the prompt? Right, a highly detailed, realistic image. It is definitely detailed. But I mean, these stitches, look at the stitch just kind of fades away there. So many issues like this. It's kind of weird going on. These kind of bolts on the on the leather straps look a little weird. Like there's just a lot of weirdness going on. I don't know if this is supposed to be stitching right here, if that's just a crack in the leather. It looks like it might be stitching that they just put, and then there's like a weird stitching here. It's not great. It's not great. Now if we look at Ideogram, I mean, look at that strap. Look at the stitching. It's almost perfect. At first glance, if I saw this, like if it was just sitting there, right, in a catalog or in a magazine or something, I wouldn't glance twice. I wouldn't look twice. I wouldn't think that this would be AI generated. Obviously, if I were to look really deep, I could see some things like this looks kind of weird right here. There are some issues, but far less issues than Midjourney, far less. And it just looks so much more realistic. The shading, the reflection of the light, that strap by itself, the stitching, the leather itself doesn't look drawn. I mean, it really does look like worn leather, right? And highly detailed, realistic image of a leather bag with visible texture and stitching. Visible texture and stitching. So for this one, again, I'm gonna have to give this to Ideogram, which wins it the round.
Knockout! Round 2. Fight!
All right. And the next round is style of. So this is in the style of a specific artist. So a futuristic cityscape with flying cars in the style of Vincent van Gogh or Gough. I don't know. Don't crucify me on that one, please. And it is what it is. I'm going to get some pronunciations wrong, right? So let's take a look at these side by side, because right away, I don't really have to dig too much into this, to be honest. Looking at these two, this, Midjourney is great. This looks like an amazing modern take on, a modern painting using some classical type of styling in its style, right? However, I feel like for this one, Ideogram definitely understands Van Gogh. I mean, that looks like, what does that look like? One of his most famous paintings, right? The sky. So, and then like just the brush strokes. Look at the grass, how it's just like kind of stroked on there. Yeah, I mean, this just has much more of his style built into this specific output. So for this one, I'm gonna have to give this to Ideogram. The next prompt is an underwater scene of a coral reef in the style of Frida Kahlo. All right, Frida Kahlo. Let's look at these side by side. Right away, there's no question about what is the model, or what is the best output. There's no question in my mind. It's Midjourney. I mean, this, let's take a look at Ideogram. It's cool. It's a really cool kind of underwater 3D thing on Ideogram, but it's not Frida Kahlo by any means. Frida Kahlo did not do this style of 2.5 painting. This right here is much more her style. The vibrant colors, the kind of the strokes. I mean, I don't know if she did exactly that, but she always signed her painting in the bottom right. So this model is obviously trained much more. Midjourney is much more trained on, artistic works. It's what they're kind of known for. So it's obvious it's going to get this one, and I'm going to have to give this to Midjourney. The next prompt is a portrait of a robot in the style of Leonardo da Vinci. So let's take a look at both of these side by side. Ideogram literally did what is a portrait of a robot in the style of Leonardo da Vinci. So it did like a mixture it's a portrait of Leonardo da Vinci mixed with a robot. It's like a cyborg Leonardo da Vinci. It's dope. Like, that is pretty damn cool. I ain't gonna lie, like, made me laugh as soon as I saw it. But I mean, if we look over at Midjourney's, yeah, I mean, the coloring, the aspects of this, the shading, this is a Leonardo da Vinci painting. I mean, it's not. It's obviously it's not, but uh, it looks like it could be, or at least very close to it. Um, yeah, I think Midjourney did a killer job at that. So for this one, I'm gonna have to give this to Midjourney. All right, the next prompt is a grand piano with melting keys floats above a vast ocean while clouds shaped like a human face sheds tears of liquid gold onto the waves below in the style of Salvador Dali. So it looks like it doesn't like that eye, that weird eye, I don't know what you call it, but it doesn't like that, so it did something else. Anyway, Salvador Dali. So let's take a look. Yeah, so let's go over to Ideogram first, because this is dope and it follows the prompt almost directly. This is an amazing image. Like, it's so good. It follows almost everything we put in. That cloud up there, the background, the sea, it incorporates multiple different types of art and styles, and really comes up with just a cool looking image. I mean, yeah, this is dope. I wouldn't mind having this professionally done and put up as painting in my house or something, right? Like, this is actually really cool. However, is it Salvador Dali? Not even close. I mean, this isn't Salvador Dali by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing on here that would tell me that this is inspired by Salvador Dali. Nothing at all. There still isn't much on here that would tell me Salvador Dali, but there's more on here that would tell me Salvador Dali. The shading, right? If you look at a lot of Salvador Dali's paintings, and they span the gambit, right? There's quite a bit that he's done. He had a long career, but there's a specific type of shading that he does. He really likes those tans. He really likes the kind of off-white, and he likes it to evoke a sense of realness, but also it's surreal, right? So it's surrealism. So yeah, like this feels much more like it could be inspired. Like, if an artist, this doesn't look like his work by any means, like it doesn't still, but if an artist told me that they were inspired by Salvador Dali, that they were one of their influences, and they made this piece, I would believe it, and I could see the connection, right? Whereas over here, I just can't. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I could kind of see it with the dripping, right? And if they told me this, but between the two, I'm going to have to say Midjourney won this one again. All right, now we're going to round three.
Fight.
All right, and this one is prompt adherence. How close do they follow the prompts? The prompts are going to be a bit more structured and specific. So let's look at this first prompt. A portrait of a young woman with heterochromia. Her left eye is emerald green and her right eye is amber. She has freckles across her nose and cheeks. Her hair is half shaved on the left side and long purple dreadlocks on the right. She wears a silver nose ring and has a geometric tattoo on her neck. The background is a graffiti covered wall with predominant colors of teal and orange. All right, very good. All right, so perfect. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at both of these. All right, so let's take a look at Midjourney's first. So it's pretty good, but if we're looking at prompt adherence, right? Left eye emerald green, right eye is there's not heterochromia at all. Young woman, got that. Okay. Let's see. She has freckles across her nose. Yep, she does. So got that one. Hair is half shaved on the left side, long purple dreadlocks. So I mean, I can give it that. I'll give it that. It doesn't. It's not exactly shaved, but it understood it to some degree, right? We have the dreadlocks over here. Understood that. Purple dreadlocks on the right. She wears a silver nose ring and has a geometric tattoo. Silver nose ring. Okay, cool. She got that too. Geometric tattoo. The tattoos. Midjourney always does this with their tattoos. They're just so weird looking and obviously AI. Like that's not geometric. That's mumbo jumbo. That's nothing. That's that's not a geometric shape at all. There's no geometry in the world that will give you that unless you're on acid. So yeah, and even then acid will probably get you to do some better geometry. So yeah, I don't like this one. It didn't follow it too great. It's cool. It's a cool looking image. But when you dig in, it's just not adhering to the prompt completely. Now, we go over to Ideogram, and things change drastically. When I saw this image and how well it followed this prompt, I was blown away. Everything on this prompt is followed exactly. So, I mean, heterochromia, her left eye is emerald green, right eye is amber. I mean, look at that. That is crazy, right? She has freckles across her nose and cheeks. Yep. Her hair is half shaved on the left side and long purple dreadlocks on the right. Shaved, long purple dreadlocks on the right. She wears a silver nose ring and has geometric tattoo. And look, that's a geometric tattoo. That looks like a tattoo somebody might actually get. It's coherent. Doesn't look like just weird. It's amazing. And then we have the background, geometric tattoo on her neck. The background is a graffiti covered wall with predominant colors of teal and orange. Teal and orange. And it looks like graffiti. I didn't even check this over on Midjourney, but does that look like graffiti? Not really. That looks like it's painted, right? This looks like it was sprayed. You could even see the edges where it's like a spray paint would do those type of edges. This, not so much. So yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. Ideogram takes this one. All right, the next prompt is a futuristic kitchen. The countertops are white marble with gold veins. On the left, a chrome refrigerator with a holographic display. In the center, a floating island with a blue translucent top. 3 spherical pendant lights in different sizes hang above the island. A robotic arm on the right side is pouring coffee into a mug. Let's take a look at both of these. So right off the bat, they both look really pretty. I really like both of these. Let's take a look at Midjourney first, right? So we have the futuristic kitchen. The countertops are white with marble, white marble with gold veins. Similar. I mean, there's some gold trim right here. It's kind of weird and wonky. I would classify that maybe as a gold vein. It's trying to adhere to it. Chrome refrigerator with a holographic display. Sure. Yep. Chrome refrigerator, holographic display. It looks a little weird again. Maybe it's trying to reflect everything that's going on. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But that looks like a holographic display. We'll give it that. In the center, a floating island with a blue translucent top. It's not floating. It's definitely just a center island. We do see a blue top. So again, trying to adhere to the prompt. 3 spherical pendant lights in different sizes hang above the island. Yep, we'll give it that. A robotic arm on the right is pouring a mug of coffee. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It is a robotic arm. There's a lot of issues with this. But it is close. Like, everything is trying to adhere to the prompt, right? It's not bad. I mean, it's not a great generation. There's so many issues. You'd have to spend some time fixing this in editor, but it's not bad. It's pretty good, and I really do like those the reflections on this, and look how coherent each of those reflections are. That's pretty dope. Now Now let's take a look over at Ideogram. This is just crazy. So futuristic kitchen, we have the marble with the gold veins, clear. We have the floating, hovering, translucent blue. We've got the chrome fridge, the holographic display. We've got this beautiful, perfect robotic arm. I mean, there's some issues, right? It's AI generated, but and there's the cup of coffee. It's pouring the pot. We have these three bulbs here, different colors or different sizes. Yeah, between the two, Ideogram just wipes the. I want to say wipes the floor. I'm trying to be, Midjourney's amazing. I really love Midjourney and I use it a lot. But when we're talking about prompt adherence, like, there's no question here. This Ideogram is in another level when it comes to prompt adherence. So I'm gonna have to give this to Ideogram. The next prompt is steampunk-inspired pocket watch. The outer casing is brass with intricate gear patterns etched into it. The watch face is visible, showing Roman numerals in copper color. The hands of the watch are shaped like miniature wrenches. A small steam valve is visible on the top right of the casing, emitting a tiny puff of steam. So we'll take a look at both of these side by side. We will start with Midjourney. There's not a lot that it got right. It did get kind of the steampunk inspired. It got the steam coming out. It does not get the wrenches. It looks like it might have tried. So once again, the thing is Midjourney tries to adhere to the prompt. It's just not that great at it. It doesn't have, maybe maybe on the back end, I think they do not give enough like steps in the generation process for the model to probably get it right. And that's probably because they have so many people using their service. I don't know. I can't compare. They're a private company. I don't know what their user numbers are versus Ideogram, but I'm pretty sure they have more than Ideogram. And because of that, there's some give and take. You can't have unlimited GPUs for the world to just use. So it's cool, it's decent, but it's not adherent to the prompt. There's so many issues over there. Now we go over to Ideogram, and again, I mean, look at this. You have the gears etched into it. You have the gears etched into the cover even. Then definitely the border. You have those gears etched in. You have the arms that are wrenches. You have the one kind of valve emitting steam on the top right. Roman numerals, much easier to read. Yeah, I mean, there's. Am I missing anything? Pocket watch, intricate gears. Yeah, the outer casing. Okay, the watch face is visible. Hands of the watch shaped like, yeah. I mean, it gets everything, so well. Obviously it's AI generated. It doesn't understand, how these should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But it gets this. So between the two, Ideogram wins this one again.
Knockout! Round 4. Fight!
All right, and the fourth and final round is text coherence. So we're going to be looking at, oh, sorry, I opened that up prematurely. Text coherence, this is how well each model does with text. Hit the wrong button. So let's take a look at this first prompt. A vintage movie poster with the title Cosmic Odyssey in bold red Art Deco font at the top. The subtitle, A Journey Beyond Stars, should be in smaller golden cursive font directly below. At the bottom, add coming soon in white block letters. The text should contrast against a dark blue starry background. Yeah, guys, I'm not really going to dive into this too much. It's pretty obvious. Everyone knows Midjourney is not great at text. They do a great job with the design. And if they could just get this, honestly, if they could figure out how to be adherent to the prompts and coherent with the text, it would put them beyond everyone else, because the design here is so cool, right? With this kind of like retro futuristic design, the font, like this, if this was spelt, if all of this was spelt correctly, this actually had coming soon and Journey Beyond the Stars in cursive right here, like this would kill Ideogram, right? Because Ideogram is cool, but it's obviously like a modern take, and it's great. I mean, it gets it all. Cosmic Odyssey, A Journey Beyond the Stars in cursive, coming soon in block, the contrast against the dark blue starry night, like everything, prompt adherence, text coherence, it's phenomenal. However, for style, if Midjourney just got this right, please, Midjourney, just do this right. Because if they did, it would kill all of the competition. It just would. Because this style, this feeling, it's unique, it's different, it's cool, it's fun, it's interesting. This is just kind of bland, and some basic graphic designer put this together, right? And it's cool, but it's not this, right? So but for text coherence, I'm gonna have to give this to Ideogram. The next one, text, a modern business card design. The name Alex Rivera should be in large sans serif font in the center, colored deep navy blue. Below the name, add digital marketing specialist, and a smaller light gray font in the bottom right corner. Include www, the website, and a thin minimalist font in teal color. The background should be white with subtle geometric patterns. So let's take a look at both of these. Yeah, Ideogram crushes this. It's a design. It's not supposed to be actually on a card. It did say just a design, but everything on here almost gets it perfect. This isn't a gray, but it does get all of the text coherently. Everything. Digital marketing specialist, Alex Rivera. I mean, the subtle white designs. This is crazy. I mean, you could send this to a graphic designer, say, this is what I want. This is the style that I'm looking for. This is the color. This is everything I'm looking for. Make it happen. And they could put it on one of these cards, because over on Midjourney, it tried. It tried its best. Did not do a great job. So again, this is going to Ideogram. And the next one is a neon sign for a cyberpunk cafe named Binary Brew. The words should be in a futuristic angular font. Binary should be in bright cyan, while brew is in hot pink. Both words should have a subtle yellow glow below the name. Add 24/7 in smaller pulsing green neon. The sign should be mounted on a grungy metal wall. So let's look at both of these together. Oops, hit that twice. Yeah, so again, there's not much need to go too deep in this. I love the style over on Midjourney, but this is text coherence, and Ideogram got this. Binary Brew, it followed the prompt almost to a T. You can't even read Midjourney's. So for text coherence, the last and final of the round, and for the entire video, we're giving this one to Ideogram.
Knockout!
And the winner is Ideogram.
All right, so the winner is Ideogram. I mean, I thought this was going to happen, to be honest. Midjourney is amazing, and I'm not trying to disparage Midjourney. Midjourney is phenomenal, but it is phenomenal at the things that it is good with, right? And that is, style. Certain type of styles, but it's not exactly good with everything else. It's good with styles. It's good with really cool ideation. It's good with mixing styles. It's really good with um, uh, art. It's kind of like great with just eye candy, coming up with designs for like some type of graphic design or campaign, etc. Really great at that. Everything else, not so much. So Midjourney, just keep doing what you're doing. I really love the things that you do well, and I use you for all of those things. Um, but I would love if you could start competing in some of these other arenas, because if you can, and if you get those well, um, you can really step up. And so, if you're listening, you're probably not, but uh, please do that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you like this little game that I designed for this. If you do, leave me something in the comments. Let me know if you like it or not. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. I will hopefully be putting out another one of these next week sometime. So come back, hit that like. Thank you again. Have a great day, great weekend, great life. See you soon. Bye.